In the previous example, we drew a rectangle and extruded it to create a simple block. And that was a nice example to show you the thought process of how we go about sketching and then extruding to create a solid body. Now let's do something a little more difficult. We're actually going to draw the carburetor gasket for my lawnmower. And I'm going to do it in kind of a roundabout way for the sake of demonstrating relations and some of the sketching tools. Let's begin. This is not how you would normally do it, but it's a good learning experience. I'm going to start off by just drawing a bunch of circles. These are just randomly placed. So all I'm doing is I'm clicking on the center and then pulling out to some diameter. Now you see those horizontal lines that are appearing? When Solidworks does that, it's saying it's going to create a relation, or it's going to tie the vertical dimensions together. So if you don't want to have some relationship automatically created, just move off a little bit so that the dotted line is not created. So that looks good. I got a bunch of circles. So I'm going to click the green check to end the command. And I'm going to draw just a line there. Escape to end the command. Draw another line. Escape. Draw a line. And another line. Well, that doesn't exactly look like a carburetor gasket to me. But let's start fixing these issues. So I'm going to start off by adding relations. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put this circle right on the origin. Okay, I have too many selections here. So I'm going to click on one of them and hit delete. Now, where I have two valid selections, Solidworks can resolve that this midpoint option is possible and coincident is possible. Well, I don't really like either of those. So I'm going to clear all of the selections. I come up, I click on the box, right click, and hit clear. So let's try this again. I'm going to click the center of this circle, and then I'm going to click the origin. Okay, I like these two selections, and I'm going to say coincident. And immediately the coincident icon pops up, and the circle snaps to the origin. Okay, that looks good. I like that. So I'm going to clear the selections and add some more. Let's say I want this circle to be centered on this circle. So I'm going to click on the two, arc 1 and 2 show up. I'm going to hit concentric, and they snap together. Okay, I like that. Now, if I click the center of this circle and this horizontal top plane, I can say coincident, and the circle snaps down. So I'm going to get out of the relations for a moment. Notice that I can drag these and I can relocate the circles. So don't hesitate to drag your items around. For these lines, if you click on the center of the line, notice that it's moving perpendicular to the slope. Okay. I can also grab the endpoints of the lines, move those around. Okay. So I could actually just kind of drag everything into position, but a lot of times it's nice to have everything visibly off so that you know when it snaps to the right position. Okay, let's keep going. I'm going to hit escape, and I'm going to go back to add relations. So I'm going to make this circle concentric with this one by clicking on the two of them. Okay, that looks good. I'm going to clear my selection so I can do more. Coincident, good. I'll clear my selections, click the two circles, I'll make them coincident, or excuse me, concentric. Well, we're getting closer, but it doesn't really look like my carburetor gasket yet. So let's keep adding more relations. I'll clear those. And I want this line to be tangent to the outer circle. So I click on the line, the circle, and I choose the tangent option. Ooh, that's kind of ugly. But let's keep going and see if we can resolve this in some meaningful way. I'll clear those selections. I'll make this line tangent as well. Okay, not too bad. I'll make those two tangent. And things are getting a little bit messy. So let's kind of put some dimensions on this just to put things back in the realm of reality. So I'm going to hit escape. And I know that the bolt hole on the side of the gasket is 3/8 of an inch, so 0.75. So now that's the correct size. And I'm going to say this edge radius is 1 inch. Okay, that looks a whole lot nicer. Now let's go back to adding relations. So I'm going to click the line in the circle. I want it to be tangent. I'll clear my selections. I want the line to be tangent to this outer edge. Okay, not bad. Make that line an arc tangent. Well, we're still off quite a ways, but we're getting closer. Now the outside two bolt holes on my gasket are the same size. I'm going to clear the selection, and I can make these two the same by saying arc 4 and 6 should be equal. Good. And the end radiuses are the same, so I'm going to click on that one and this one and say equal as well. Wow, that's starting to look like a gasket. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to trim off the lines that I don't need inside. So I'm going to choose Trim Entities. I'm holding down the left mouse button. Oh, that's a problem. See that big gap at the top? I don't like that. So I'll click the Accept, and I'm going to do Control Z for Undo. So let's fix the problem that just created. If we zoom in down here, see how the line endpoints don't meet? Well, we said everything should be tangent, but we didn't say that the endpoints needed to be coincident or lie on the circle. So let's do that. I'm going to click on the endpoint in the circle. I'll say coincident. And the endpoint immediately comes down and touches the circle. Clear my selections. Endpoint and circle. Coincident. Nice. That looks good. I'm using my mouse wheel to roll out. And let's see what the top looks like. If the bottom was bad, the top is probably bad as well, which it is. So I'll clear my selections, endpoint and circle, coincident, endpoint, circle, coincident. Now let's try trimming this inner circle again. So I'm going to do trim entities, holding down the left mouse button, and go over. Nice, that looks good. Let's do the other side, holding down the left mouse, mouse over it. Good. And that looks nice. I see the line's a little bit excessive over here. So I'm going to hold down the left mouse, go over it, and trim off that bit of line. Right here, we should probably have a coincident as well. So I'll finish my trim command, and I'll add a relation. Choose the endpoint and circle, make it coincident. Over here, same thing. Endpoint and circle, coincident. Clear the selections to start over. And coincident. Okay. Now we do not need this area of the circle, and we do not need this area of the circle. So let's get rid of those by trimming them. Again, holding down the left mouse button and wanding over it. Okay, that looks pretty good. So now we have all the general geometry that we need. Now we need to add smart dimensions so that we end up with a fully constrained sketch. So let's add some smart dimensions. We have the bolt circles defined. So we can see from the equal sign that both of those are 3/8 of an inch. Oops, sorry. We should make both of the end radiuses equal at a diameter of 1. So I'm going to add a relationship to make those equal. This arc and this arc, I want to be both concentric and equal. Whoops, too many selections. Let's try that again. Say equal and concentric. So again, add the dimensions. So I'm going to say 1.375 or 1 3/8. Going to make the center opening. Oops. Let's make this 1.5 inches. Now notice what's happening. We're starting to get some color changes. Our center hole for the carburetor gasket turned black. That means that that set of curves is fully defined. So as we go forward, we want to get everything to turn black. That's how you know where you need to focus your attention. So this is black, that's black, this is black. The next thing I'd like to do is I'm going to make the distance from the bolt hole to to the center hole of the gasket. I'm going to set that distance. So I'll click on the center and the center. And I'm going to make this 2 inches. Ah, we got more curved segments turning black. That's pretty good. I'll accept that dimension. Now, my carburetor gasket is symmetrical about this vertical center line. So it makes sense that this line, this line, this line, and this line are all the same. So let's apply that relation. So I'm going to click that line, this line, this line. I'm going to set them all equal. Okay, so it accepted that. And there we have it. I have a fully defined sketch, and I have a valid sketch of my carburetor gasket. To turn it into a solid body, I'm going to exit the sketch, and I can extrude it. I'm going to accept the default distance of 0.1 inches, which is about right. And there we go. There's the carburetor gasket on my lawnmower. Now, that is a really long way to do it. Let's take it from the top and do it again. And this is the way you would actually do it. So I'm just going to delete this. I left clicked on boss extrude and I'm going to hit delete. I'll say yes. Right click, delete, yes. Okay. So now we're right back at the beginning again. Let's draw it the way I'd normally draw it. Create a sketch. I'm going to point right at the origin. And you notice it's already auto-suggesting that the circle will be coincident. I do it again and I point right at the center. It's automatically suggesting that the next circle will be concentric. Draw another circle. So you can see if you do it, if you make your drawings close, you'll get a lot of the auto suggestions automatically, or excuse me, the relations automatically. Oops. So I don't see the concentricity ones. So I'm going to put those in manually. Centric. Concentric. Clear that. Let's say equal, equal. Make the bolt holes equal. Notice the coincident is popping up, and I'm getting a coincident and tangent. There. Now that was a whole lot faster than the first time. Let's trim out the segments we don't need. Good. I'll accept that. I do see some problems here. Like this little area, so let's fix this. I will add a relation that says the line should be tangent. Clear the selections. That actually looks good. Down here, I need to add tangency. That looks good. Okay. Clear the selections, make these four equal. Now, one thing you can do is when you look at these relations, you may wonder, what do the relations apply to? If you just put your mouse over them, they highlight the affected lines. Now put the smart dimensions in. Oops, I think I got that wrong. 2 inches. Oops. Clear the selections. Select these four lines. Make them all equal. And notice everything's starting to blacken up again. That looks good. Oops. 1.5. I'll make those two arc segments concentric and equal. I'll get rid of dimension 1. Concentric and equal. And there we go. That's actually how you would draw that figure. So it's not nearly as arduous as the first way I did it. And again, we exit the sketch. I'm going to rotate it, extrude it, and we have our gasket. And that ends this lesson. Thank you for watching.